Mindfulness Mondays. For those of you who are new, my name is John-Scott Kelley. I'm a student in the counseling psychology program and a licensed psychotherapist. I'm also the graduate student support GA and serve as a point of contact and support for all graduate students on campus. These sessions are intended to fortify our sense of being by integrating our brain hemispheres, strengthening the connection between our minds and our bodies, and actively attending to our present experiences, all of which promote a sense of wholeness and act as a buffer against our society's typical activities. Today, like Mariah was saying, we will focus on actively attending to the sensations and experiences of compassion towards self and other. I ask you all to find a comfortable position wherever you may be. That might mean closing the blinds, turning down the lights, resting your feet flat on the floor, placing your hands on your thighs, or simply sitting on the ground. Make your space as comfortable as possible and make it yours. Now close your eyes or employ a soft gaze. As you allow your eyes to gently close, tune into your body and make any necessary adjustments. It can be helpful to remember our intentions of both ease and awareness. Sit in a way that feels comfortable, but allows you to be alert. Begin to breathe deeply in a manner that engages your belly. This type of mindful breathing signals to our bodies that we are relaxed, which in turn calms our minds. Since our minds and bodies are interconnected, the cycle builds on itself. Notice your belly rise and fall as you continue to breathe. Throughout the exercise, take note of any experiences that arise, as they might give you insight into your deeper beliefs regarding yourself, others, and existence itself. As fallible beings, we all fail to reach our aims and complete our tasks from time to time. But we often have little patience for ourselves when this occurs. We make quick, unquestionable assumptions, such as, I should have done that, as if the achievement of the goal ought to have been inevitable. We also experience negatively valenced emotions like guilt and frustration, since our experiences are discordant with our desires. Why are these beliefs so compelling? In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, we are often more focused on product than process. It seems it isn't as important how things get done as long as they get done. And we feel a lot of pressure in this process, rightly so. How do we know growth is more valuable than process? There's no space for growth and learning in this belief set. When we say we should have done something, we are signifying that we should have already known how to reach our aims, that learning and the consideration of alternative approaches are not necessary, and that we know ourselves well enough to know what we truly want. However, those assumptions are not always supported by our experiences. How do we ever learn if we already know all the necessary procedures? Isn't the learning process itself valuable? After all, the mechanism of learning can be applied to other areas of life, since the world is continually presenting us with things we do not understand. When we are unwilling to be receptive to alternatives, how can we be so sure about the value of our desired aim? How do we know we are not blinding ourselves to novel opportunities or contradictory information that might lead us in another direction? Take some time to reflect on your experiences in this moment. When we find ourselves disappointed after the incompletion of a task, rather than expounding upon what we should have done, it is usually far more accurate to say, I would have liked to have done that because it is associated with my aims, which are things that I value. It is important to point out that this desire to achieve our aims is important and often a part of our identities. In fact, it's a big reason why we are where we are in our lives. Nevertheless, there can always be too much of a good thing, and it is necessary to strike a balance between stability and flexibility, order and chaos. Absolutist statements are stable but inflexible to the point of rigidity and fail to take other contextualizing information into account. That is actually how they survive. They simply do not allow us to consciously perceive the inconsistencies despite their existence. However, these inconsistencies eventually float to the surface, and we become agitated, anxious, and exhausted when we fight against ourselves for extended periods of time. This is when the world lets us know that our answers to its questions are incomplete or utterly incorrect, and we experience negative valenced emotions. Not negative in that they are bad, but negatively valenced because we feel out of position, disoriented. Reflect upon your experiences in this moment. We are always operating off of limited information because life is too complicated to master. When we operate in rigidity, we think we have all the answers, but the complexity of reality remains in spite of our assumptions. Therefore, the necessity and the importance of compassion does not lie in the fact that it makes us and others feel better, though that is an important byproduct. It's more crucial than that. The processes that underlie condemnation are constricted and inhibitive because they constitute a one-sided view of reality. Therefore, when we practice self-compassion like we are today, we're actually seeing the world in a different, more contextualized and nuanced way. We are appreciating its complexity, which can significantly influence our broader experiences. In this effort, we can come to appreciate our own complexity, which includes those aspects of ourselves that we dislike or ignore. And this allows us to integrate and fortify our being. We will attempt to access that state of acceptance and cultivate compassion today. The intention is to have an open heart that is supportive and understanding, and this applies to self and extends to others. Let's start by bringing to mind a time in your life where you experienced a sense of kindness, warmth, or connection with another person or being. It could be that you felt kindness toward another person, or that you felt that person's warmth and love directed toward you. You may remember the unconditional love you have felt in the eyes of a beloved pet. Or you may recall a special time with someone and the way you felt in that moment. You might recollect a time when you were generous to another person or when someone was kind to you. Allow yourself to imagine that experience or feeling in that moment. As you remember this experience, notice how you feel in your body. Acknowledge the sensations. See if you can notice what you are presently experiencing with an attitude of curiosity as you engage in this practice of compassion. Next, bring to mind the image of someone you care about, have warm feelings toward, or to whom you feel a sense of positive connection. As best you can, try to get an image or sense of that person in your mind's eye. You will begin to wish this being well by extending words of kindness to them. I'll be offering some phrases as guidance, and you are invited to use these phrases or choose new words as you express your wishes of love and kindness towards this being. May you be well. May you be kind to yourself. May you be understanding. May you be seen. Imagine this person did not reach their aims for the day. Would you offer them the same should statements you might offer yourself? If there's a difference, why does it feel justified? We will add more context to the previous statements. Allow yourself to connect with the emotional intent of these phrases as you say, may you be well and bring your best self to the world. May you be kind to yourself. This is also an opportunity to learn. May you be understanding. The world is too complicated to always have the answers. May you be seen. I acknowledge your whole being, and I still care. Now, gradually let any imagery fade away. Actively attend to what is present for you as you sit here in the space where you are. Appreciate the sounds and smells around you, the light, the air touching your skin. Acknowledge that you've been doing something skillful in the last few minutes as you've been consciously cultivating an attitude of compassion towards others. Notice once more the feeling of your body resting here with any feelings of warmth or kindness that may have emerged. What would it be like to offer this compassion to yourself? Would it be easier or more difficult? We will take a moment to do just that. Imagine a time when you let yourself down. Recognize the feelings that are associated with that experience. Perhaps instead of saying, I should have done that, stating, I would have liked to have done that, but life was more complicated at the time, is more appropriate. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. We are often more compassionate toward others than we are toward ourselves. Take a moment to extend wishes of kindness and warmth towards yourself, as if you are a person you care about, when you say, may you be well and bring your best self to the world. May you be kind to yourself. This was also an opportunity to learn. May you be understanding. The world is too complicated to always have the answers. May you be seen. I acknowledge your whole being and I still care. When you are ready, bring yourself back to the room. Open your eyes or harden your gaze. If you found this to be difficult today, I challenge you to pay careful attention to your beliefs and how they affect your experiences. If it was easier to be compassionate to others than for yourself, toward yourself, take note of that valuable information and investigate it further. If it was easier to be kind to yourself than others, that is also worth exploring. We are pursuing self-understanding as we experience being in its totality. This endeavor is process-oriented. Being human is the process of becoming who you are. Thank you all for your time. Mariah is providing a feedback survey in the chat box, if you wouldn't mind filling that out as we close today.